because of the DROS. This is one of the criminals caught now.
Enugu State is in the spotlight again, this time for a dramatic arrest caught on camera at the Okpara Square access. According to reports, the newly established Security Command and Control Center under Governor Peter Mbah's administration has begun to yield results. CCTV surveillance cameras captured a suspected armed robber in the area, and the Distress Response Squad, popularly called DRS, swiftly moved in. In a viral video circulating on social media, the suspect can be seen inside a tricycle, a Keke, allegedly in possession of guns and ammunition. Within minutes, the DRS team apprehended him, marking what the government describes as one of several success stories and arrests made through the newly deployed technology. The Enugu State government says the establishment of the high-tech surveillance and response system is part of its wider plan to monitor all 17 local government areas of the state. The idea is simple: to forestall crime before it escalates and to reassure residents that Enugu can truly be a safe place to live, work, and invest. Governor Mbah himself has acknowledged that no meaningful developments can happen without security of lives and property, and for many, this capture is proof that the system is working. But not everyone is convinced. Opposition voices have slammed the government, describing the Command and Control Center as a waste of taxpayers' money. They argue that despite the cameras and the DRS patrols, insecurity remains a daily reality in the state. They point to the consistent attacks on farmers in communities like Hamufu and Isuzu local government areas, where fear of herdsmen's violence has kept people away from their farmlands. They also question why stolen cars, kidnappings, and other violent crimes still occur within the Enugu metropolis if the surveillance cameras are indeed functioning. For critics, these are not isolated cases, but evidence that the system is either underperforming or not being used to its full capacity. And so the debate continues. Is this new technology the beginning of a safer Enugu, or is it just another expensive project that looks good on paper but fails to truly protect citizens on the ground? For now, the arrest at Okpara Square remains a dramatic success story, but the bigger question still hangs in the balance. Can technology alone solve Enugu's deeply rooted security challenges? Okay, so this security situation is reared its ugly head again. So many persons have stated that the government should demonstrate how the so-called CCTV that is established some few years back, that's a year ago now, is working, really. Many persons say that kidnappings are still going on. Many people also say that snatching of vehicles and even petty thieves here and there are still going on in the state. We still have kidnappings along the Open-Suka axis. We still have the Hamufu crisis with farmers unable to go to their farms for fear of attack by herdsmen. Those are the major issues in terms of security that has been going on in the state for some time now. And so many persons have said that maybe this so-called technology deployment would go a long way in solving it. But a few months, a year or two down the line, we haven't really seen, so many persons says that they haven't really seen any success. Nobody is saying anything in that regard. How has the so-called CCTV worked in terms of securing the lives and properties of people, given that we still have these things existing within our territory? So many persons ask the state government to demonstrate how the CCTV, how this investment on security have solved the security situation, and this is also one of the demonstrations, I guess, with this catch of someone who they claim was involved in transporting arms and ammunition within the territorial confines of Enugu State. I had personally gone into that security command control center, and the equipment there is tremendous. Like I said in my previous videos, that the security and control center is a place was one of the best in the continent of Africa, where you can find something of that equipment. I use my eyes to see, because you cannot take pictures inside because of security situation, where you can you see that only in the UK or the United States. I mean, even in South Africa, you rarely see some things like this. So the city is constantly watched. I mean, I can tell you, just as far as I know, the city is constantly watched. Every single location is constantly watched, and if you look closely, if you have been running through the Opi-Nsukka axis, Enugu to Nsukka axis, you notice that has been consistent increase. There has been increased in deployment of security personnel on that axis, both the military and of course the police, or at least I think 5 to 10 kilometers for each. One of those days when I was traveling, I understand that they had like 11 stop points before you get to Nsukka, and then from Enugu to Nsukka is about 45 minutes to 1 hour, depending on your travel. You are traveling on your private vehicles, will be lesser. If you're traveling on public, that it's usually slower. So we are looking at something in the neighborhood of between 30, 45 and 1 hour. So you could tell that there's effort by the government in making sure that security situation improve in the state. And the issues of the Hades clash, we know that we share boundary with Benue State. We also share boundary with Kogi State, for those who don't know. And Kogi State and Benue State have been two states that have been bedeviled with this consistent killings that has not only made farmers become scared of going to the farm. It has also made farmers lose their lives, and nobody wants to lose their lives in times and days like this. And it almost looks as if that the government is handicapped with what we are seeing, because every now and then we hear of attacks here and there. Water that we thought that things have have been taken care of. We just had another attack that happened there. So Benue, that is the food basket of the nation, with a lot of farmers, with a lot of produce, have been in the middle of the whole chaos. The fightings, the killings have been consistent, and because we share boundary with that location, you would think that Enugu State would also have its own share, because the boundary is not even far. There's nothing closing down on the boundaries, so you can have some of these persons running to the states and cause mayhem and run back. But then the government is looking to put CCTV even in forests. Yes, I know I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm saying it because there are real plans in making sure that everyone is actually secured. The farmers over there is actually feel secured. And so if the city is constantly watched, so it's easy to have people deployed. You don't even have to do anything. Just stay where you are and deploy technology using drones in order to capture whoever is taking time, or whoever is moving mad in looking at their situation, as the case may be. So I really want to state this clearly, that there are ways that you can do these things and make sure that nothing absolutely happens to people who, by any stench of imagination, think that they are unsafe. The governor, of course, have consistently said that he knows how important security is. If there is no security, trust me, there will be no development, no meaningful development. I mean, he has stated that he's going to raise the economy of the state from $4.4 billion to $30 billion. And so far, that if there are consistent security situation, that cannot happen. People will not come investing. He has done a lot of investments in terms of smart schools, in terms of smart farms, in terms of smart PHPs as the primary health centers, several other things that he has put in monies into, especially as it concerns the Enugu area. And so these are things that would need to come up and stimulate the economy of Enugu State, with people coming inside. And a lot is happening at the conference center in Enugu State, with loads and loads of events happening, and people putting people to work, and putting everyone on their toes in delivering the good of the society. So you would need security. You would need to deploy more equipment, more persons, to make sure that these places are safe and secure, and so that people can do businesses and even work and do other things. So it's all, but the opposition really doesn't see it that way. They feel that the so-called CCTV program has failed in its entirety, because if the CCTV really works, we wouldn't be having or hearing about stolen vehicles, we wouldn't be hearing about kidnappings, we would be able to, capture them, people who kidnap people, but people who still pay ransom for, their kidnapped loved ones. So where do you put the so-called CCTV thing, if truly it works? So it's left to be seen if that is true. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear from you. As always, this is Cheesy Media.